What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today I've got some more I Do Work Here Lady stories. Entitled people think I'm too old to work at McDonald's. This happened not recently, but around 4 months ago, I think. Honestly, I forgot some parts, but I'll try to remember them for you. So I worked at McDonald's. I quit like a month after this happened. That's another story for another time. It was a normal day. We didn't have much business, so I was at the cashier making a small talk with my colleagues. I heard someone walking up to me, so I quickly finished and looked at the customer. "Hi, welcome to McDonald's. How can I help you today?" It was an entitled guy. Hi, could we speak to the manager, please?" He said it in a nice but edgy tone. Sure. May I ask why, please?" His partner, an entitled lady, said, "No, get the manager." I was kind of confused and slightly offended, but oh well. I got the manager and they walk over to the entitled family. "How can I help you?" Yes, hi. My son would like a job here, particularly being a cashier. He could take," the entitled lady points at me, "her job there. I suppose they're just a fill-in because you're understaffed?" "Sorry, Mom, I'm trying to keep my cool. I work here." "You do not. You're far too old. You look 25. Give my son the job." "Sorry, we are full of staff. There is a Hungry Jack's down the road. If you take an application there, he might be able to..." "No, he can work here. Can you give my son your uniform, please? You can leave." "Lady, I work here and I deserve to work here. Let me do my job." "Don't speak to my wife like that." "Sorry, you guys have been really rude to the staff and you're clearly not here to buy anything. I'm going to have to ask you to leave." "Do not speak to me like that. I want to speak to the owner." "If you don't leave, we'll call the police. Don't disrespect us or our staff." The entitled lady kicked the counter, threw a salt shaker on the ground and walked out, holding her son's wrists. Apparently, they tried coming back a few days later, but the same manager was on his shift, so he kicked them out. Also, I was 17, not 25. Wait, so you're telling me you're only 17 and she thought you were too old to work there? Last time I checked, there were no age restrictions for McDonald's workers. What is this person talking about? I love that this story incorporated r/I do work here lady, r/older than you think I am, and r/entitled parents into one. Those are the three subreddits that I've been focusing on mainly over December and this month, and yeah, it's good to see them all combined into one story. Now for our second story, crazy office worker prevents me from doing the job I was contracted to do. This is a half I do work here lady story and half a cautionary tale of making sure you over-inform people of what you're there for. A year ago, I was working as a helper for a fire alarm company that does testing and maintenance on fire alarm systems for industrial buildings, warehouses, and utility complexes. Usually in an office building setting, you wait till everyone goes home for the day, but some industries have multiple shifts and you have to just find the best time you can to test alarms. Our usual inspection involves setting off all devices one at a time, making sure they report properly and inspecting sprinkler pipes to make sure they're in good shape. As a courtesy, not only for the customer but for ourselves, we silence fire alarm panels before setting things off, and do a one-time horn/strobe check to make sure those all work too, instead of having to hear them every time. After a while, you fall into a rhythm of hitting a smoke detector or pull station, waiting for your partner to confirm he got the signal, resetting it if applicable, and moving on to the next thing, and you don't always inform those around you of what you're doing. Utilities and warehouses assume you know what you're doing and don't bother you, but office buildings have a lot of nosy people in them. I go up to the third floor of an office building, which was the halfway point for the building of 5 stories, when I casually stroll over to a pull station at the stairs and place my hand on the station. The cars from this point will be me, just a guy doing his job, Cal, crazy office worker who reminded me of a cow, and SC, site contact, the guy we were contracted under and reported to. The cow pipes up. "What do you think you're doing? You'll go to jail if you touch that." I was a bit taken aback by this lady in her 50s who looked like a twin of my old high school math teacher. "Oh, I'm with the fire alarm testing company. We have the horn silenced and we're just doing our annual check of the system. I'll only be a minute." I reach over to pull the station when she screeches at me again. If there were words in this screech, I couldn't make them out. She moved between me and the pull station and seemed to be looking for something on me. "Where is your badge? Who let you in here?" I opened my mouth to say I worked for, but that's as far as I got. "So you don't work here? You can't just go into a strange office building and set off the alarm? That's illegal." She then called down the cubicles for someone to call security, which was not much of security, just a guy with a company-issued flashlight and a 2-hour training video. Well, for the next few days, I do work here as a contractor checking your fire alarm panels. If you like, I'll come back to this floor after hours. We worked odd shift hours to try to avoid getting in the customer company's way. Get the site contact up here now, he'll know what's going on. Sure enough, a few minutes later of texting my partner to let him know I'd be delayed a few minutes, my site contact comes up, and before he can even ask what was going on, the crazy office worker launched into her story. This crazy kid came up here and was threatening to set off the sprinklers. There were none on this floor. And get the fire department here for a false call, and they should call the cops. The site contact replies, this is our fire alarm contractor. The same company checked our system last year. That's not the guy from last year. Oh, you mean my partner? I pulled out my phone and pulled up a picture of my co-worker. And the cow gets this defeated look on her face as she realizes she made a scene out of nothing. I still to this day don't know if she thought she was trying to save the company a headache or if she was just crazy, but she backed down and apologized to the site contact. I tried to keep my customer service smile on my face, but everyone could tell it was fake and only put on for her benefit. Here, I'll show you I'm legit. I reached to the pull station and pulled the trigger down, causing her to jump in panic. No horns went off, no strobes flashed. We disabled the horns this morning and we're in the middle of testing. We'll make sure not to make noise till everyone goes home, I promise. Ever since then, I make sure to be obnoxiously obvious in what I'm doing, explaining to people what I was there for to the point of being annoying, but a few joking retellings of this interaction usually puts people at ease. As a contractor, yes, I do work here for the next few days, even if I don't work for you. I'm in a different industry now, and it's about that time of year when that site gets their annual checks done. I wonder if someone else is getting harassed in my base this year. Oh, well, I bet they probably are. If I'm honest with you guys, it sounds like this woman has a serious issue. I don't think it's that normal when you see someone you don't recognize in your place of work saying, they must have broken in to set the alarm off. Like, that isn't a thing. Nobody says that. But at least she did back down and apologize. That is good enough for me to suggest this woman isn't completely crazy. Now for our final story. Yes, I am a tutor teacher. I recently found this sub thanks to our friends on YouTube and thought to myself I would share my story with you that happened to me a few weeks ago. So I study physics for my bachelor degree in university, and because I'm still young, just 20 years old, I need money, so I'm not a full-on leech to my parents. Given I don't have a full-on set schedule yet to my studying and I'm very inconsistent, I needed a job where I can basically just come and go. Now, since there are multiple tutor teaching centers where students and other people can just go to either get help or teach, I decided this would be perfect for me. After all, I can do maths and physics for regular schoolwork pretty well. So this happened on a Thursday. I have about 4 to 5 hours to spare in between and just go to the center and see if there was any help needed. Note, they pay you for tutor lessons, and if there is no one needed, you can just sit around and do your own work. Introducing the middle-aged lady and her son. Let's call her Karen. So Karen came in and walked up to the front desk and said her son has a hard math exam on the next day and she needed a double lesson immediately. Anyone that has given tutor lessons before knows how hard it is to rework everything for an exam on the next day in 2 hours. Well, as I was there and currently also the only one available to give a maths tutor lesson, especially a double one, she called me up and already handed me the prepared paperwork for the lesson, what grade the son was in, topics to cover, and the amount of time I had. Note that I'm a pretty big guy with long hair and a full beard. This is important. I normally try to be friendly, but hey, appearance is the first impression. Yes, it is. As the lady sees me and the receptionist explains that I could teach, Karen's face almost fell apart, and she asked if there was anyone else but me that could teach her son. Upon being questioned why, Karen explained, I doubt anyone like him could teach my son proper math. As I said before, almost anyone can come and teach there. I was quite offended by this, as I do invest a lot of time in my studies and do get good grades. Anyways, the receptionist kept explaining that I was the only one currently here, over which Karen demanded to see the manager. Well, the manager came and I decided to just go back to doing my work as exams were coming up. After about 20 minutes and some yelling I couldn't fully understand, the manager came to me and told me that Karen wasn't allowed to come here anymore, and that she called me an uneducated noted drug addict. But she eventually left in embarrassment after being shown both my grades and current education. Fair to say it is a story I still laugh a lot about, and ever since then I try to keep at least my hair somehow tied back and wear more neutral shirts to not cause problems. We haven't heard of Karen since then. And this is another example of not judging others based on appearance. I mean, some people can look like absolute trash and still be 100 times smarter than you. It's happened to me before. I'd say to OP, don't worry about other people's perceptions of you. It's none of their business. Just keep on studying and enjoying your life. At the end of the day, it's her and her kid who miss out on their education, right? So you know what? Karma really got to them. Anyway, guys, that is going to be the end of this video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, drop it a like, comment your opinions on the stories down below, and subscribe for daily videos on my channel. Also, if you want more content from me immediately, click the video on screen for more I Do Work Here Lady stories. I promise you, you won't regret it.